Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we will be filming my 2023 TBR. Yes, I know it is April. I do not care. This is also my second time filming this video because I tried to use an actual camera. This little dude right here, it didn't want to work. It wouldn't focus and the audio was awful. So we're gonna try and work with my phone again. Hate the phone. It has no storage, but it's okay. So I will be going through my mysteries, my romances, and then my fantasies. So I guess let's start with the mysteries. These first two books are, well, I only have both of them on here because I want to reread the first one. The second one is what's actually on my 2023 TBR. So that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Good Girl, Bad Blood. Good Girl, Bad Blood is on my 2023 TBR. I read this last year, I think. Either last year or the year before, during the summer. And I don't fully remember everything, and I also want to annotate it. So I want to read this one again, and then read this, and then also As Good as Dead and Killjoy, because I own all of them. I really liked this book. Like, I did. Honestly, I really liked it. But I don't remember everything that happened, and I would like to annotate it, so just figured I could read the whole series this year, and that would be cool. So this is about, the first one at least. I can go through the first one, I can't go through the second one. The first one is about, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background, Pip, who is trying to solve, it's for a school assignment, she's trying to figure out if this girl in their town that died years ago actually was killed by her boyfriend or something else happened. So it's a cool little mystery thriller type thing. She's trying to solve this. And then there's also the boyfriend's little younger brother is in it. And there's a little romance. And I think it's cute. So I'm very excited to go back into this one and read it again. And then dive farther into their stories. And then we have Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I read We Were Liars last year in either October or November, and I loved it. I hated the beginning of it, and I remember reading it and being like, I'm not gonna like this book. This book's not gonna be for me, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to the middle and the end and the plot twist, and I was like, this is like my favorite book ever. It's not, but at the moment, that's what I thought. So, very excited to get into this one. This is the prequel to that. So I think it's like 27 years before everything that happened in We Were Liars. So I'm very intrigued because it's the parents and the grandparents of all the kids in We Were Liars. I can't really tell you much about this because like it kind of spoiler, but it's a little mystery, I think, and I'm very excited to jump back into that little world and those characters. Although I didn't like the parents, so we'll see. Then we have The Cousins by Karen and McManus. These stickers won't come off, so we're pretending they're not there and moving on. I have read One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next by her, and I also am really looking forward to One of Us is Back at the end of this year, I think is when it comes out. So figured I could fill in the gap with this little book here that I bought at Ollie's for $5, so that was great. This one I think is about these cousins who have like never met before, and then they've never met their grandmother, but then all of a sudden they're invited to her island resort for the summer, and they end up going to try and get on her good deeds because the parents want in the inheritance. And so they go there and they end up having all these different mysteries that pull up and like these family secrets, and all of the characters have secrets. So I think it's going to be interesting. And then we have Crazy House by James Patterson and Gabriella Charbonnet. I bought this book at the library in the little front section of the Friends of the Library. And I just bought it because of the cover. I've learned that honestly, if someone puts is that a dragonfly? I think it's a dragonfly. If someone puts a dragonfly on the cover, I will buy it. It's not good. It's really not good for my wallet. but I will buy it because it looks cool. Especially this one because like it's a holographic type of thing. Love it. So this book, I'm not really quite sure what it's about, but it definitely sounds like a mystery, possibly a thriller. It does say on the front you can stop waiting for the next Hunger Games, but then the back doesn't give me that vibe, so I'm intrigued. But it's basically, it says it's about a girl, Becca Greenfield, 17, disappeared one morning on her way to school. Everyone from her town, including her twin sister, is desperately searching for Becca. They won't find her because Becca is being held prisoner in the crazy house. Becca is on death row, which is totally crazy because Becca is completely innocent. No one has ever gotten out of the crazy house alive, but there's always a first time. So it sounds really interesting. And I think I also own the second one. So, very intriguing and very excited to read this. Also, the colors are really pretty. There's like purple and blue and pink, and then there's also like a yellow that stands out, and it reminds me kind of the galaxy, and I like that. Then we have one of the ones that I've already actually read this year. We've gotten up to a good start. This is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. So I have 2 Holly Jackson books on this TBR this year. I loved this book. I think I gave it 5 stars. Like, I loved this book. It was my favorite thing in the world. I read it in like 2 days, I think, in January. And I bought it in December. So I read it pretty quickly after buying it. It says 8 hours, 6 friends, 5 survive. Basically, it's this group of 6 friends/acquaintances who go on a road trip to Florida in an RV, and they end up getting stranded and broken down in this wooded area with no cell service, no nothing. They can't contact anyone, and then they're put in this life and death situation, which for some reason I didn't connect. But I think it says it in the title. I think it says it here or something. I don't know. It says it on one of the covers, but I'm not going to say it. But I was really intrigued by this. And obviously someone dies. It says it in the title. It says it in the book. Whatever. However, I added a new person to my hit list. Because yes, I have a character hit list. Now there's a new person on that hit list, but it's okay. I'll go over the hit list in the future, but for now, our last mystery thriller, and that is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, I think. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I can never pronounce his last name right. I have 2 of his books, actually. I have The Silent Patient and The Maidens. I got The Maidens for my birthday from my cousin, and then this one I bought at Target, like around Christmas time, I think. So this book blew up last year. I think it blew up the year before too, possibly. I don't know how long this book has been out. But everyone is obsessed with this book and this author. And it's 2019. So yeah, it's been out for a few years now. And I'm very excited. It is about a woman who kills her husband and then never speaks again. And then the criminal psychotherapist who is captivated by it, the case, and is determined to get her to talk and tell him what happened. So, seems like there could be a lot of little twists and turns in here, and I'm very excited for this book. So, those are our thrillers/mysteries. I have no horrors, but it's fine. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, because that one doesn't count, on our thriller mystery books for 2023. Now we will go into romance. Romance is kind of in a pile, like thrown around because it fell. So we're just gonna pick up books that we can grab and go through them. So first off, we have Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is a series that people are obsessed with. The Addicted and Calloway Sisters series. And I really want to get into it. And so I bought the first book, I think last year. I think I bought most of these books last year. And so I want to get into it, but it's a big commitment and I'm scared. I will get into it eventually, and I'll probably make like a vlog about it. But it's about 2 people, they're best friends, they both have addictions, and so they decide to fake date to try and pretend like they don't have addictions to their families. I think that's what I've heard it's about. It sounds very intriguing. It's a little bit toxic, I think, a little bit heartbreaking. And I've heard that it's very hard to read because you just like get angry because it's written like people with addictions, which is the whole point. And so I'm really excited to get into this one. Also, the cover is like really pretty. So, love that. Then we have The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is a little kind of enemies to lovers, I think. Use that term lightly with romance. But this woman has to go to a wedding and she has to bring a date to the wedding. And she ends up going, I think it's with her colleague. Yeah, I think it's her colleague. I'm not positive though. And they don't like each other, but he agrees to go with her as her date. And then a little love story ensues. In Spain, I think. I think it's all in Spain. I'm not positive. It's not like the longest book ever, but it is a little bit of a chunkier romance. And I'm very excited to get into this one because a lot of people love this book and a lot of people hate this book. So, very intrigued. Want to see what my opinion is. Then we have The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This is a little summer romance vibe, so I might wait until the summer to read this actually. And it does have a show, but I haven't watched the show yet because I wanted to read the book first. I bought the book right after the show came out actually. So I'm hoping to get to this year, this summer, and then be able to watch the show and possibly season 2 if it's coming out this summer. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but love the spine of this book, hate the cover of this book. So I will buy the better covers if I like it. But this is the first of a trilogy, and I'm pretty sure it's a love triangle between these two brothers and this friend of theirs during the summer, whatever. And she likes one of the boys, and the other boy likes her. And so it's this little romance thing. Love happens somewhere in it, I think. I don't know. I've heard that it's good. And I think it like goes back in time a little bit here and there about like their ages. Yeah, like some chapters say different ages on it. So I think it'll be a very interesting little read, a very chill summer read. And then we have The Summer I Turned Pretty. No, I just went over that one. Then we have The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I read Everything by her in like 2018, 2019, and I loved it. I literally stayed up all night reading it. Did not go to sleep. Finished it at breakfast. I only skipped it to go to church with my family, and then I picked it right back up in the church lobby. So that's how much I loved that book. And I've heard this one is very different from that one because that one was more of a Fault in Our Stars book. This one is not. This is about two people who meet one day. The girl is being deported I think she's being deported in 12 hours. And then they end up falling in love. And it's like this whole 12-hour thing with them. And I think that sounds like a cute little concept. Then we have Books Just Fell, It's Fine. The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which is the first book in the Off Campus series. It is a hockey romance. And I think it's a fake dating book, which I really like fake dating. So I'm hoping I like this book. But it is about these two people who I think they don't really like each other. I think she thinks he's really annoying and like rude. And he's a little bit of a player. And he agrees to help her try and get this guy that she likes at the school to like her back. So I think it's going to be an interesting little story. It kind of has the same vibes as Better Than the Movies. Just like the tiniest bit, but a little bit more mature. And I think that'll be cute. Maybe. I don't know. It's a big series that I've been wanting to read. And then we have All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This is a little depressing romance. Two broken people meet and fall in love and try and fix each other. And there's a movie that I want to watch. So I'm hoping I like this book. I've heard good things about it. So we're hoping I like it. And then we have After by Anna Todd. This was originally a Wattpad Harry Styles fanfiction. My cousin loves this book, so I wanted to read it for her, see if I liked it. I almost bought the whole series and then didn't, so you should be proud of me for that. But the cover is actually kind of cute. I actually kind of like it, not gonna lie. So it's about a little toxic relationship between the good girl and the bad boy. That's what it seems like, at least. Then we have one that I've been trying to read for like 3 years now. I have gotten like 20% through this book like 3 times now. That's it. And it's not that I don't like it. I just put it down and then don't pick it back up. So, this is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I loved Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, so I thought I would really like this one. And I don't dislike it. Like I said, I liked what I read so far, but I just keep putting it down and then never picking it back up. So, we're hoping that I finally pick it up and don't put it back down. And just finish this book for once, finally. The words are actually kind of small, but it's fine. I don't know what this is about. Sorry, I think it's a love triangle too. Then we have our last 2 romances. I've already read this one, actually. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I loved this book. I think I gave it a 3.5 or a 4-star. Not positive which one. Loved it, though. It was a very nice little, I guess a refreshers kind of. It was a refresher book. You know, just that little palate cleanser in the middle of a bunch of books. It was a nice little relaxing romance. Loved the characters. Loved the vibe that this book gave. It was so cute. It felt like I was watching a Disney movie. And I loved that. And I loved its little references to all these movies and these rom-coms. It was a great book. There is a hawk on my fence. Okay. Loved it. Highly recommend. Would read again. It's just chilling. Okay. And then we have our final book, which is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I have never read a Colleen Hoover book, and so I want to try. I want to see how I feel about her, because I know she has mixed reviews. People have mixed feelings. And so I want to see what my feeling and my opinion is on her books. So I have It Ends With Us, and I have It Starts With Us. It's looking at me. It's gone. It flew away. Okay. This is a little toxic romance. I think she falls in love with someone and he ends up not being a good guy, and there's like abuse and all this stuff. So trigger warnings, please. Don't read books unless you read the trigger warnings first. So I'm kind of excited to get into this book and see how I feel about Colleen Hoover. But I feel like I need to be at the right mindset for her books. So that is all of our romances. You can kind of say them all? Yeah, that's all of them. Those are all of our romances that I have picked out for 2023. And now we have our fantasies. There aren't as many, obviously. Not as many as the romances. I think there were 10 romances. Picked up my fantasies. And I don't know how many thrillers, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fantasies. I think they're all fantasies. This one I think of as less of a fantasy, so I'm going to put it first. But this is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've never read this book before. So, and I know it's not necessarily fantasy, it's more dystopian, which is why I kind of put it at the top, and I want to like make sure it's up here. It's been blurbed by a lot of good people, and I've watched the first movie, don't remember it at all, it was years ago, have not continued anything in this series. So, I'm very excited to be able to read this year. And I have multiple people begging me to read this so that they can talk to me about it. So, it shouldn't be that hard of a read. I have all 3 of the books in the series. I got them all for free, actually. So, really hoping to be able to get into this. Most people know the premise of this, so I'm not going to go into it. But I'm really hoping to get into it this year. And then we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have never read any of these books. I actually think I might end up reading Six of Crows first this month because I want to, but I could end up binging this whole series and everything this month. Not sure. We'll see how the rest of this month goes. We're slowing down a little bit after this weekend. Things kind of start slowing a little bit. So hoping I can get through a bunch of these books and stuff this month. This is the first book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and then also the first book in the Grishaverse, which is a bunch of books. I don't know how many it is actually. It's at least 5, but I think there's more. So I don't really know what it's about, and I don't want to know what it's about. So I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Most of you probably know. But it's got a pretty cover. I do hate the Netflix thing though, and it won't come off, but it's fine. I do own all 3 of those books and the 2 Six of Crows books, so that's fine. Then we have this thing. I have never read Twilight. My 12-year-old cousin has read Twilight. I've never read Twilight. So, I really want to read it, but also it really scares me. I've also never watched Twilight. I own the first 2 books, though. And I hate this cover. I want the other cover. But this is the one I have for now. So this is the one we are going to read. It's about vampires. You're welcome. And werewolves. There are werewolves in it, too. And I think it's like a semi-love triangle thing. Don't like love triangles, but we'll see. Then we have The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is our little Percy Jackson, right? I've never read this. I really want to. I own multiple of the books. Loved the movies. I know that's controversial. I loved the movies. But I do know that they're not really like the books, which is fine. So I'm hoping to read possibly the whole series before the show comes out, whenever it comes out. But this is our little Percy Jackson. I'm not going to go into his book either because most people know about Percy Jackson. And then we have another book that I have read. That is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I've read the first one. I am still in the middle of the second one. I've only got like 5 pages into the second one, and I've been reading it for 2 months. Probably because I just kind of put it down and picked up other books and just didn't pick it back up. I did like it, but I didn't pick it back up. So, I loved this book. I gave it a 4-star. It was a really good book. I don't think I liked it as much as most people did, but I did really like it. And the ending did have me on like the edge of my seat, waiting to see what happened. So, loved the book. It's about this girl. Most people know what this is about, but I'll go into it because I've read it. It's about this girl who one day goes into the woods and kills a wolf. Turns out it wasn't a wolf. She gets hunted down by a fairy. He takes her to the fairy lands. I don't remember what they're called. They have a name. Whatever. He takes them to the fairy lands. And he keeps her captive. Kind of. She's not really captive, but she's captive. And a bunch of stuff happens that I did not see coming. And the beginning of this book was really slow. I feel like it really didn't fully start until like there. So like quite a bit. But I feel like it did a lot of character building and there was a lot of just like world building and I feel like it was necessary. And whenever I finished the book, I was like, yeah, I loved this book. The beginning was worth it. It needed to be there. Lovely book. Good job, Sarah J. Maas. And then we have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, which is actually on my TBR for this month, I think. So, I'm very excited to read this one. I have been wanting to read this for a really long time, actually. So, I only own the first one. This is the first book that I only own the first one. In the fiction, at least. I own, like, all these books, and it's really bad that I haven't read them yet. I've heard really good things about this book. I've heard that it's definitely more YA, which is good, because I'm kind of looking for a little bit YA, more so. Something a little chill in between all these higher fantasy books. I don't know what it's about. I don't want to know what it's about. So, and then we have another little Sarah J. Maas book on here. And that is Throne of Glass. I do have the old cover. I'm going to end up buying all the new covers because I don't want any of the other books. So I will buy all of the new covers eventually. But I kind of got to read the first one first. So, I think this one's like about an assassin. And she ends up having to try and win her freedom by killing killers and thieves. She ends up befriending there's a crown prince who will provoke her, a captain of the guard who will protect her, and a princess that she befriends. And it's a really long series. So I'm excited to get into this one. And I think that was all of them. That was all of them. So this is our fantasy books / dystopian on the bottom. I can't hold this whole stack up. It's not happening. But that is my 23 books that I would like to read in 2023. Comment down below what your 2023 anticipated reads are, books that you would like to get to, and also new releases, because I am looking for new releases for this year. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!